In the 9th century, while the other great dynasty, the Abbasids, controlled the Muslim world, Ibn Tulun, a young ambitious governor, was sent by the Caliph to the city of Cairo. He will build a remarkable monument there. The Ibn Tulun Mosque is considered a jewel of Abbasid architecture. Of all the mosques in Cairo, it is the oldest. It is the affirmation of a sober, bare architectural style, a real break from the flamboyance of the Umayyad. With its huge square courtyard, it is also the largest in Egypt.
The most important thing about this mosque is its simple architecture. Architecture that's not flashy, it's not glitzy, it's an architecture that does not have colors in its decoration, no tiles, no paintings. It's all very pure. And it's built by very simple material. It's built by fire brick that was plastered over. And that's it.
A remarkable sobriety, as seen in the foundation of ablutions, a simple black marble placed in the middle of the vast courtyard, surmounted by a dome devoid of artifices. Ibn Tulun, the commissioner of this mosque, is the son of a slave from Samarra in Iraq. When he arrived in Cairo in the year 868, one of his first visionary decisions was to create a new city whose heart would be a mosque. He demands a new style from his architects, but he wants an element that echoes the mosque of his hometown, Samarra, with its unique minaret of helical shape points. Ibn Tulun had a copy erected, attached to his mosque, as the mark of the Abbasid presence in Egypt. He launched projects that heralded a major breakthrough in Muslim architecture.
When Ibn Tulun wanted to build his mosque, he told the architects no columns should be used in my mosque. And the architects told him, why go through all this difficulty? It's easy. We go to any ancient monument, we go to churches, we go to synagogues, old, that were destroyed probably. We get the columns and we build, like the previous mosques were built, this way. He said, no, I don't want any of that. I don't want you to go and destroy ancient monuments or churches or synagogues or any of that. I want you to build me this type of pier that I want. These robust piers support arches, and these are pointed arches. It's the first pointed arch that we have in Egypt, and probably the oldest pointed arch in the history of architecture is right here. The arches themselves are very graceful.
In his desire to distinguish himself from his predecessors, Ibn Tulun imposed a new conception of Islamic art. Inspired by the Iraqi deserts in which he spent his childhood, he highlights this heritage, favoring the sobriety of the decoration. This meant a complete breakaway from Umayyad art, which was based on elaborate mosaics in the Byzantine style.
The Mosque of Ibn Tulun is different from what was before, like in the Dome of the Rock and in Cordoba. There was big, huge areas that are made of mosaics, but it is vases and flowers and trees and pearls and jewelry. The revolution was by the Abbasids. Abbasids came over and they obliterated everything that was Byzantine, and in order to imply a new character for Islamic art, they went into the abstract.
The 128 windows of the mosque, pierced in the thickness of the walls, are all different. A work of incredible finesse that alternates the geometric shapes carved into the stucco, a type of plaster, the raw material for all the cladding of the mosque. A mixture of plaster, glue, pulverized marble, slaked lime, chalk, and pigments, all bonded by water, stucco allows the creation of thick coatings with an aspect and hardness of the stone, while leaving the craftsmen the freedom to fashion their creations by hand. Inherited from the Greeks and Romans, stucco is now a characteristic artistic signature of Abbasid art.
Ibn Tulun came from Samarra, and there everything was made of stucco, almost everything. The whole of Mesopotamia is famous for stucco work. Yeah, I don't think there are workers now who can do this work anymore. The decorations are very elegant. It's like for me, it's like lace. It's very delicate designs, how they put the designs together, interlacing circles with the leaves. Yeah, I find it very, very chic.
We find that the windows are never centered with any arch. So we want to center the windows unconsciously. And once you center one window, you're seeing the second. So we move within the building until we center without knowing. And once you center the second, you are centering the third and fourth, and then it becomes endless in the movement within the building. And once you reach that point of entering a building that you are constantly moving in it, it shows ultimate degree of architecture. Because architecture in itself is the sense, it's the art of movement, not the art of static structures, because you are living within the building.
During the 5 daily prayers, the Ibn Tulun Mosque comes out of its silence for a moment. Facing the mihrab, which points to Mecca, the faithful men of the neighborhood arrive to worship. At the height of the greatness that he returned to Egypt under his mandate as governor, we can imagine Ibn Tulun here, facing this mihrab with a large crowd behind him. Yet today, few remember Ibn Tulun. He would rest in anonymity a few steps from the mosque in the middle of the city's great cemetery, in this mausoleum, unknown and ignored for centuries. Historically known as the Tomb of the Abbasids. On the walls, stucco decorations and verses from the Quran. On the ground, 2 graves, one large and one small. It is in the smaller of the two that the remains of the great leader would be found.
Before the Abbasids, the cemeteries and the domes of the mausoleums were not ornamentally rich. Many new cemeteries were created after the advent of the Abbasids and Ibn Tulun. These were characterized by their ornamental richness with plants, stucco, and calligraphy. All this highlighted the beauty and magnificence of these mausoleum domes.
Following an ancient Egyptian tradition, as a sign of eternal life, the guardian of the cemetery places a cup of water on each tomb. Men and dynasties disappear, leaving only traces of their passages engraved in stone.